having a barbecue party today in the studio.
Right in the studio, and we're gonna stink up the studio.
All right. All right, Angela Park and Peter Vint are waiting for us. They are all ready to get the party going. Good morning.
morning.
Good morning,
Good
guys.
morning. Oh my gosh, we have been just in torture mode because the smell in the studio is just amazing. You know, the weather's been getting nicer, right, Peter? So
Yeah.
a lot of people, they're trying to take advantage of the nice weather by doing more outdoor activities, but leaving the city is not always the most viable option.
Sure, especially if you've only got a little bit of time on the weekend. So going camping nearby, or maybe even having a party in your own backyard, that can be a solution. Playing catch with the kids in the morning, and then maybe having a delicious barbecue in the evening.
Oh, yes, don't even talk about food right now. We have some great hot item products, perfect for that kind of a scenario, maybe like a garden party, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna start off with this bright product to my right. This is called Vinasta, and this is by Opus Lightech. Now, it's basically an insect lamp trap.
An insect lamp trap. Okay, I hate bugs in the summer,
well, I
so
mean,
sometimes
who doesn't?
yeah, that puts me off from going out. So this is a trap for insects. How does it work?
All right, so as you can see, it's very bright. It works as a patio light. It's very effective in lighting up whatever area, but at the same time, the real key point is that it tracks the light and then, of course, gets rid of your bug problem by killing the bugs as well.
Oh, okay. So how does it trap and kill the bugs?
All
then?
right, so this bulb, first of all, is 160 watts, and that's a pretty bright bulb
Sure,
for a
it's
lot of
very
these products. Like, you know that saying, like a moth to a flame?
Sure.
There's a reason behind it, right? So then, as the insect gets attracted to the light, then there's a whirlwind suction being created by a fan that's actually up in this part of the device here, and then the insect will get sucked in and then trapped into a net that's located as well on the bottom.
Oh, so I see the fumes from the dry ice. They're all being sucked into the lamp.
That's
so I
right.
guess that's how it works,
That's right. But to better show you, we do have a little jar of, actually it's so pretty, it's like colorful styrofoam right here.
Imagine they're bugs.
Exactly, because I don't want to touch real bugs, right? So then it's getting attracted, and then let me get here. It gets sucked into this device by the whirlwind air. Let me put a little bit more for a good measure. So it gets sucked in, and then I'm going to open this up. It's a little bit tricky. Okay, there we go. I don't want to touch that because that's the fan
yes,
here,
please don't
right?
touch
It's
that.
very dangerous. But as you can see, the insects would get trapped here.
Ah.
Now, the key point,
Wow.
Peter, though, is I'm sure you've seen similar devices, right?
Sure,
But
definitely.
the location of the fan is what sets this apart because a lot of these devices, they have the fan above the net, meaning that the insects will enter into the fan, and then you have like bug parts all over. It can create a smell, and not to mention it's not very pleasant, and then the insect bits can get caught in the fan as well.
Sure.
Like, you know, making it maybe more likely to break down.
Absolutely.
But because the fan is under, the insect will get trapped in the net first, and then it also works as kind of a drying function to dry up the insects, or the dead insects, I should say, so that it doesn't smell.
Okay, that sounds perfect. But I've seen lamps in parks and places with this kind of attachment fitted on. So how is this different to that?
It's a great question because you're right. They, like I said, they have similar devices, but the bulb is not as bright as this one. This is 160, like I said, but the ones that you've probably seen at parks and public venues like that, they're only about 20
Oh, wow, a big
watts of
difference.
electricity, right? So in fact, the bugs actually, rather than going to the devices, they go to like the regular street lamps, making them pretty ineffective.
Sure.
So this is a little bit more.
But how many bugs can this take?
It attracts bugs from about 30 meters away. 100,000 bugs a day is the estimate.
Wow.
And 10,000 won a month. That's all. That's the electricity costs are going to set you back for turning it on 10 hours a day.
Oh, that sounds great. So now we've got rid of the bugs.
Yes, we did.
Let's start with the barbecue, okay?
Oh, thank you. Okay.
That's what I've got. This is Korea's first and apparently a world first barbecue that can do pretty much everything. It can smoke, it can grill, and it can barbecue. It's can cook by fire.
All right. Now, I don't know much about barbecues. I mean, you know, I'm going to be honest, but it looks like your conventional barbecue.
Okay, well, I'm going to prove you wrong, okay? Because it uses
hope so.
charcoal to heat up the meat, which is nothing new. But what it does have is this great fuel intake system. So lighting the barbecue is the most difficult part. I'm sure many men will agree out there who do the barbecues in the summer, and women who do so as well.
Thank you.
But what you do here is you light a little flame torch. I'm obviously not so good at this either. Okay, and then
We
you
have a lot of
simply
dangerous products today.
insert it into the intake system here and leave it, and that will light the charcoal by itself. You don't have to touch it. And then 10 minutes of preheating and you're ready to go and cook your meat. I've done this beforehand, so the meat is cooking in there. I will turn this off because
Yes,
it's already
I will.
lit in there.
Okay, so even somebody like me who's not very familiar with these
Sure.
devices can work it. We've been seeing more and more charcoal grills pop up on the market because usually we use like gas or electric grills here in
Yeah.
Korea. But this one is set apart from other charcoal grills. How?
Sure, because charcoal is good for the flavor, but what's bad is that the grease can ooze out of the meat and drip straight onto the charcoal, and that creates some carcinogens later on. But what this does is it has a blocking board, so that separates the meat from the charcoal, and none of the oil or grease drips down directly. So there's no carcinogens formed in the first place, and you get tasty meat because the scent of the charcoal is obviously in the air that's cooking the meat.
Can we take a look inside? Because, you know, you are grilling quite a lot of meat, and from what I hear, this grill is capable of grilling quite a bit of meat.
A whole load of meat, right. I'm going to open this baby up, and it's got enough food in here for about
That
30
is
to
so
40
much
people.
meat,
I don't know
Peter.
what we can do with
Wow.
all this meat. I'm sure the crew can finish it off, but it can barbecue up to 15 kilos. And if we look at the side where you are,
Yeah,
Angie,
yes.
you can see where all the grease and the oil has come out in
Oh,
this
wow.
tray. So it's much healthier as well because all the oil, it doesn't stay in the meat, it drips down into the tray, and that stops the meat from burning because that's what causes flames in a charcoal barbecue.
It's good to know that we're not putting that into our bodies, right?
Absolutely. And an even better function
Yes.
is you can add some wood chips and smoked flavor by simply placing these wood chips, which they sell separately, obviously, and put them into the hole in with the charcoal, pour it out like that, and then it cooks with the charcoal in there and adds extra flavor and aroma to the meat.
Now, I'm curious though, how long does it take to cook? Is the heat effective?
What's brilliant for this, from frozen, just 40 minutes. You can cook these all from frozen, so you can store this
Wow.
meat for a long time. It takes just 40 minutes. And after the meat is cooked, you can then put in eggs and sweet potatoes,
see that.
things like that, and they come out with the same charcoal flavor. If we look over to this different model, they've also got a small, tiny model that you could probably take around with you in the car if you're going camping or something like that. But these also, they're cooked so deliciously. They don't get dry.
Yeah.
They're really moist
Oh, I
inside
see that
as well.
actually.
Yeah.
So this also kind of has the benefits of the charcoal flavor. So even if you can't leave the city for some big camping trip, you
Yeah.
can at least enjoy the food. That
So why
comes
don't we
along.
enjoy the food? I'm going to cut some meat off here, Angie.
Okay.
Not just for you, I'm sure for Young and Jinju and
You're going to
Minjung.
need bigger pieces for them, I think.
My hands are clean. Would you like to taste
yes,
it
I
and
will.
tell me if the
I
flavor
will
is in
try
there?
this. It's really crispy on the outside.
I'd like you to speak with your mouth full as well. Is it good? Because there's the charcoal flavor is meant to get right into the meat because all the fumes are trapped in there. Yeah. It is amazing. That's what Angie
I
just
have
said.
a question.
Okay.
What are those eggs doing there?
These eggs, you can cook them in this container because there's no flames actually directly here.
Wow.
So they're all fully hard boiled now. So we'll try some of these later as well. They
they're
they
cooked.
smell great as well.
Oh my gosh, you
wow.
guys, really though, the charcoal flavor is really good. It's like 8 a.m. when we're eating samgyeopsal, but
Can you
Never
toss
too
some
early.
over to us? Maybe
I'm
just
gonna cut
across
some
the
for you,
studio?
for sure. But once you finish.
All right, we'll just we'll go over after we wrap this up real quick. All right, that just about does it for this edition.
And we will enjoy that food with a lot of gratitude. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 7 a.m.
thank you for watching.
Bye bye.